Back in the 80s to 89, when we started making stainless, we painted them green for John Deere, red for International, orange for Alice Chalmers, and blue for New Holland. Hello, I'm Warren Evans with Dixie Chopper, and today we're going to talk about serial number 01 that my father invented in 1980, went into production in 81, and I'm going to show you all about it. My dad was a distributor for Dixon and Grasshopper, and the Dixon transmissions were friction drive and they wore out. Dad used to say it was like lighting a candle. Whenever you started using it, it's going to burn out and you're going to have to put a new transmission in it. But the compactness and the design, weight and balance was really what we wanted to fit in tight areas. And the Grasshopper had a hydrostatic transmission, and it didn't break, it didn't wear out as fast, but it was very hard to adjust, tweak, work on. We joked we made a stand to flip a Grasshopper upside down just to change the engine oil because you couldn't get to the dipstick. So what Dad did is he took a Grasshopper transmission, and you had to cannibalize your Dixon to get the first ones. And so we took a Dixon frame, a Dixon deck. Dad built this transmission, an adjustable number 7 Eaton hydrostat, feeding a 90-degree gearbox. And with the Grasshopper, this was a folded box, and Dad put in these all threads to adjust the alignment in this pillow block bearing. And today, that has to be aligned within 3/1000ths. And today, that's why you see the bell housings right here on the side of the gearbox to align our pumps so there's no side load on the input shafts. That's very, very important. And these were chain driven, and we used pry bars to tighten the chains and do all that kind of stuff. But then we put weight jacks in to jack the jack shafts up. That's right here. I don't know if you can see it, but that was important so people could do simple maintenance on their mower. Everything on here is standard SAE still to this day. Every bearing, bushing, seal, and fitting is standard. It's not something that we made up just to sell parts. All these came with an 18-horse Briggs IC engine. Unfortunately, the valve seats fell out of them, and it cost a lot of money, and Dad said, we'll never have another Briggs on one as long as I live, but we got them now. But the Vanguards are pretty tough, bulletproof. Back in the 80s to 89, when we started making stainless, we painted them green for John Deere, red for International, orange for Alice Chalmers, and blue for New Holland. Any color you wanted. And then we bought the deck off of Gravely, that shell, and so we bought the die and had them stamped, and then we welded this 1/2-inch rod around to beef them up and put this top plate on. And in those days, that was just unheard of. The biggest engine you could get was 8 horsepower on a rider lawnmower. So 18 horse, everybody thought we was crazy. We built the first prototypes and sold them to our friends, teachers and preachers and people we had to see on the street, and we'd already sold them a Dixon, and they was breaking, so we built them one of these and loaned it to them, and they'd give us their Dixon and say, build me one of those. So Mom, Dad, me, and my brother, we took the first prototype. This is the first production, but we took the first prototype to K.O. Dixon and Ruth Ann at Grasshopper, and we begged them to build this lawnmower, and they said, there'll never be a $5,000 ETR lawnmower. Nobody will pay that kind of money for that. So they told us basically to pound sand, go home, and we had deposits for 60 of them. And long story short, when they found out we tried to give the money back to those people and they wouldn't take it, they said, we want one of those. So we went out in our cattle barn and started making lawnmowers, and when Grasshopper and Dixon found out that we was going to be a competitor, they canceled us. And we had about 300 Dixons and 125 Grasshoppers, and they told all our dealers, if you buy a lawnmower from Art or Warren Evans, you'll be canceled too. So we had to go out and sell them ourselves off the back of the truck. I mean, we just went door to door until we sold those lawnmowers to get enough money to start Dixie Chopper. And so it took us a long time in the Midwest to earn the trust of dealers that we wouldn't sell direct. So that took us a while, but after we got past that, it took off and we've been going ever since.